Sleep studies have shown that between 30 and 48% of older adults suffer from insomnia. Women have a lifetime risk of insomnia that reaches as much as 40% higher than that of men. About 60% of people report at least one sleep symptom occurring 3 to 4 times per week. So let's talk sleep. So there's a few things you want to be thinking about doing if you're wanting to have a good night's sleep. It surprises me that, we're going to go out for dinner, for instance. We're going to go out for a couple of hours and we'll spend all this time getting all frocked up and lovely and wonderful and pretty in preparation to go out for dinner for a few hours. And yet the most important thing we do every day, which is sleep, we don't do any prep for. We're busy, racing around, family, kids, thinking about work tomorrow, and then crawl into bed and think, sleep. It's like we don't do any prep for it. Sleep is my highest priority. It's the biggest thing I've made real change with in my life as routines and things over the last 3 decades and more, because I know the importance of sleep. So let's talk sleep. There's a handful of things that you can do that can really help to live from a place of prevention and not wait to do crappy sleep. So first one is, get that your body runs sleep cycles. There's a circadian rhythm and everything, and I'm not going to go into all that, but the bottom line of it is try to go to bed at the same time every night. That's it. Try to go to bed at the same time every night, within like an hour, 6 nights a week. For sure, 1 night a week, go out and play and do all that stuff if you want. However, the value in going to bed consistently is really worth it. Our body gets into that rhythm. We have these natural rhythms in our body. We want to go with them. Avoiding stimulants. It's just common sense that if you're having trouble sleeping, avoiding caffeine. So things like tea and coffee before bed is just common sense. And people say, oh, Jen, I like to have a drink to wind down. Well, you might have a couple of wines or something which can help to slow you down to get to sleep. However, our body runs these cycles, and between 1 and 3, our liver is doing its thing and it's trying to literally process the day, and that's when it'll wake you up for a pee if you had a few alcohols the night before. If you don't want to do broken sleep, come from a place of prevention. Watch how much alcohol you have of an evening. Now, there's so much talk nowadays about getting off your device 2 hours before bed. It's the whole blue light thing. You can buy fancy glasses that help to tune out blue light if you really want to stay on your device. But it's a great idea to just park it to the side. I have an alarm on my phone, but the phone it's not near the bed. I'm not going to risk electromagnetic radiation zapping my brain all night and keeping me awake. It's in the ensuite, so I've got to get out of bed to get to the alarm and things. Just try and have your devices far away from you as you sleep, and get off it a couple of hours before bed if you can. Even 1 hour, I promise, give it a try. It'll make a difference. I'll sit before I log off for the night, and my brain kind of processes what the next day is, and my brain dumps. Now, whether you're a journaler or whichever way you want to do, I'll brain dump what tomorrow is so that my brain's not worrying about it all night, if that makes sense. So some people write, and that works really well. If you're a journaler, go for that. But for me, I close out my day. And I absolutely do a brain dump to just go, yep, cool. There's always going to be stuff that's on the to-do list, but my brain goes, yep, cool. Know all that's coming, all good. So then I don't go doing the worrying about it. For the last 30 odd years, I've been tapping into adaptogens. Adaptogens are the class of herbs, and I bang on about them a lot in this podcast, but they're so damn important to our health. They're a class of herbs that dug me out of a big hole when I was younger, when I burned out in my 20s, and I promise they're worth it. I'll put a link in the show notes. You can check it out, to the adaptogens I take. But the bottom line is they help our body adapt to stress. Now, if you take them when you're being busy running around in the morning, they give you more energy. I have, for more than 3 decades, I've had my adaptogens at bedtime but you've got like a 15, 20-minute window. You want to take them, brush your teeth, lay down, go to sleep. If you're the kind of person who reads before bed or gets up to any other fun things before bed, wait, have them right when you're ready to go to sleep. Breathe deep, lay there, and let your body drift off into an adrenal recharging sleep. Now, we've all got our own vibe for sleeping and everything in life. If you saw my bedroom, I have a colorful life. I love rainbows, and I love the vibe of rainbows. And even my sheets, I've had sheets tie-dyed rainbows, but there's a great big red heart in the middle of it. I want that vibe in me as I'm sleeping. I want to recharge all every element of my chakras and just every element of me. I want everything to recharge. And so I choose to do that. But my wife and I, we still have, the bedroom's nice and dark, and it's free of clutter. It's very simple, so that, the energy reflects. So if you've got a cluttered, busy room, that's not going to help your brain to sleep. It's just not. You might want to tap into some exercise. So even an evening walk, a gentle walk after dinner is a really good idea to help bring the body down, starting to chill. Things like gentle yoga before bed. Actually, I'll put a link in the notes to some of the gentle yoga stuff that my wife creates. You can have a look at it. Qigong, those kind of things. You want something relaxing. You're not going to go and belt it out and do a 10K run, because when you do it, at the end of it, you're exhausted. No, that's not going to bring you down to that recharging sleep. We want to recharge our adrenal glands. We want to recharge our body. So we want to do gentle exercise to bring that down. So what you might realize is that if you're having trouble going to sleep, you're generally low in calcium. Calcium. Now, calcium is a mineral. People think, oh yeah, well, dairy. But there's so many much better sources of calcium than a glass of milk. But a glass of milk is classically that has what's been recommended for trouble getting to sleep. But I love things like sesame seeds. There is more usable calcium in a teaspoon of sesame seeds than there is in a glass of milk. Cinnamon. I'm a big cinnamon user just in everyday life. I love it. I love the flavor. I put it in my nutrition shake every day. But it's also a really good, rich source of calcium. If you are into fish, so things like, tin sardines, tin salmon, those kind of fish in spring water that also have the bones in them, those little bones are loaded in calcium. They're a really rich source as well. I like tofu, so get tofu from a non-GMO source. The firm tofu is rich in calcium. So edamame, which is, the soybeans before they're actually made into tofu, makes sense. Things like almonds, pecans, walnuts, and also really rich, dark leafy greens. Now, with any kind of nutrients, we're going to bring them into our diet. We find that so many people, just through stress, I've done whole podcasts on it about how the fire gets put out in our belly and food stews instead of digesting. So it's just really good for people to have a kiwi fruit a day, just to make sure that the enzyme level stays up in the gut, to make sure you're actually absorbing nutrients. So I am an aromatherapist as well as a naturopath, and I love essential oils. I love essential oils so much. They're just kind of part of my being. We'll go out somewhere and people go, oh, you smell great. Yeah, well, I don't have perfume on. I've got essential oils on that help me to stay in the vibe that I want to be in. So from a sleep point of view, if you're having trouble getting to sleep, you're generally low, like I said, in calcium. And this is when the flowery essential oils will help you. Now, no, flowery oils not because they're a source of calcium. Flowery oils because they help to take the edge off your nervous system. So essential oils like lavender, rose, ylang ylang, jasmine, any of those flowery essential oils, they're ideal, whether you use them in a bath before bed, whether you use them in a diffuser in your room. And if you're going to use a diffuser, use them for an hour before you go to bed, so that you're setting that vibe and your body's taking it in before you go to sleep. Whether you make little pulse point roll-ons or something, you want to get it, your body being able to tap into that calm, relaxing, flowery type essential oils in preparation to go to sleep. Now, if you're having trouble staying asleep, that's a whole nother game. Trouble staying asleep means you're low in magnesium. So calcium to get to sleep, magnesium to stay asleep. And magnesium is the first mineral that we burn up when we are stressed out. It's the first sign of adrenal tiredness, and in particularly if you're waking between 2 and 4 a.m. In Chinese medicine, we say this is when the adrenal glands are doing their replenishing for the day. Okay. And if you wake up for a pee between 2 and 4 a.m., it's kind of like kidneys and heart work together, and your heart's wanting you to pee to get the stress off it. Cortisol's too high, things like that. So if you stir for a pee between 2 and 4, go and have a pee. It's really important, and then go back to bed. So thinking from a place of prevention, if you're low in magnesium, here's some foods that are rich in magnesium. So foods like pumpkin seeds. Seeds are really good. Pumpkin seeds have got about 10% of your daily needs of magnesium. Chia seeds, well, that's become a lot more popular the last few years. People making chia seed kind of puddings and porridges. So chia seeds, nuts, almonds, pecans, walnuts, cashews are all rich sources of magnesium. Again, about 10% of your daily needs, but not the roasted, salted kind. It's like the raw, close to nature are the way to go. Edamame. So edamame was also rich in calcium. Black beans, all those beans, azuki beans, black beans, all those, they're up there. Brown rice, not white rice. White rice leaches magnesium out of your body. Brown rice puts magnesium back in. Potatoes with the skin on. There are so many nutrients with all our, we eat roast veggies every week, and we roast them in the air fryer, no oil or any of that kind of stuff. And skin on everything. We leave the skin on all of our vegetables. We just do, because there's so many nutrients that are right below the skin. As soon as you peel it, you're going to lose them. Now, if you're going to cook any kind of vegetables, remember that water-soluble nutrients like calcium and magnesium evaporate in steam. Cook them with the lid on. Make sure that you drink the water after you've cooked. That's the go. From an aromatherapy point of view, if you're doing broken sleep, you have gone way past the flowery oils. And in fact, it's the wood oils, the wood and the root oils, that are going to help you still that busy brain. So it's things like sandalwood and cedarwood and frankincense, which is taken from the resin of the wood of the tree. Vetiver essential oil is my favorite shut my brain up oil that there is on the planet. I'll put links in the show notes to the oils that I use to shut my brain up, and to also help you go to sleep. So, the healthy life hack for this is live from a place of prevention. Start prepping for sleep. I really mean this. This is something I've done for decades now, but I know how important our sleep is. So have a look around your room. If it's a bit busy and cluttered, maybe give it a bit of a tidy. Think about switching off things early, maybe going for a gentle walk. It's, summer here in Australia now, so it's warmer in the evenings. Think about coming from a place of prevention and not waiting to do crappy sleep. If you are having trouble getting to sleep or staying asleep, head over to the show notes in healthylifehacks.com.au and you will find those foods and things that I've actually spoken about, and some cool links to the adaptogens I take, but also to the oils that I use. Check it out. Sleep is absolutely the most important thing we do all day. It's time to start prepping for great sleep if you want to live strong, fit, and healthy.